Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Whatever problems you have, please give it to him. Let us completely focus on the holy names. The way to chant is we have to chant from our mouth and we have to hear through our ears. This is not like Ashtanga Yoga meditation. This is not like Gayatri mantra which has to be told within the mind. This mantra has to be chanted from the mouth and it has to be heard from the ears. Okay. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurulmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Mukham Karoti Vachalam Panghum Langayate Girim Yatkrapatam Maham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So thank you for coming for another satsang of the journey of self-discovery, the science of self-realization or journey to eternal happiness, in case you have forgotten the title of this program. Okay, so before we begin, as is our custom, we would like to know if anyone is coming to this program for the very first time. कोई इस प्रोग्राम में पहली बार. Hare Krishna. We'll start with spot quiz, especially those who are sitting at the back. They will be targeted in this program. Today we are going to discuss very important things, next 2-3 classes. Not that after that we will discuss unimportant things, but every class is going to be important. So we are discussing on what? Who can tell?
This is a trick.
This is a trick, huh?
They played by the teacher so that all the students keep coming.
Correct. जल्द से जान लिया आप चतुर हो.
Because I'm also a teacher.
Okay. That's how, in Doordarshan there was one serial called Hum Log. Anyone knows that? Okay. Otherwise somebody will say it was during your age and time. ऐसा बोल के you will make me feel old. Yeah. There that Ashok Kumar used to say हम लोग अगली किश्ती में देखते हैं, like that, and everyone will be tuned. क्या हो रहा है हम लोग में? Okay. So we are discussing on the topic of dash. Fill in the blanks.
Practical applications.
ठीक है, general answer. Okay, but specifically what are we discussing? Last time what did we discuss? Very good. Guru Tattva, but you are not allowed to answer. Guru Tattva, yes, we were discussing about Guru Tattva. So we were discussing where do you find a Guru? How to go about seeking a spiritual master. Without spiritual master, Guru, there is no question of attaining Bhagavan. If anyone is thinking like that, please give up that thought today. If not, tomorrow you can give it up. Okay? But give it up very soon. It is illusion to think that without surrendering to a spiritual master, directly I can. It is an illusion. Who says it is an illusion? Definitely not me. Who am I to say anything? Right? The Bhagavad Gita says, Lord Krishna himself says, and the Srimad Bhagavatam talks about people who have attempted this and what their fate has been. People who directly tried to not take any guidance from spiritual master and said that no, I know what to do now. Abhi sab, I have cracked it now. Sab malum pad gaya abhi. Kya karna hai? Bindas abhi. Akela. Freelancing. Freelance consultant. No, it does not work in bhakti. It may work in office Okay, we can be a freelance contractor, not bound by anything, right? But in bhakti it is not. So we will discuss about how to find our guru. And there is a process for that. So we discussed the various stages of bhakti. What is the first stage of bhakti? Shraddha. Shravana, yeah, that was the 9 processes of bhakti. Stages of bhakti. First stage is what? Shraddha. Have you all crossed that stage? Yes, you can be confident. You don't have to be hard on yourself, right? Otherwise, आप यहाँ क्यों बैठे हो? श्रद्धा नहीं है तो. Shraddha means lose faith. Very good. Shraddha means थोड़ा सा faith, not बहुत ज़्यादा faith. बहुत ज़्यादा faith होता है तो उसको क्या बोलते हैं? निष्ठा. थोड़ा सा भगवान पे भरोसा है तो उसको क्या बोलते हैं? श्रद्धा. उतना काफ़ी है. With that श्रद्धा, we are expected to sit at home. श्रद्धा रख के घर में बैठना चाहिए. बोलने के श्रद्धा है भगवान, बस काफ़ी है. ये सब भक्ति वक्ति करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. श्रद्धा होनी चाहिए बस. ट्रू और फॉल्स? फॉल्स. गलत जवाब. गलत जवाब. श्रद्धा के साथ करना क्या होता है? यस, श्रद्धा के बाद द सेकेंड स्टेज वी हैव टू मूव इन. सो आफ्टर श्रद्धा कम्स द next stage. What is the next stage? Sadhu Sangha. In that sense, Sadhu Sangha is the first practical step, because Sadhu Sangha के लिए घर से बाहर निकलना पड़ता है. Sadhus will not fall like that. Apple falling from tree. No, we have to go and seek association. Have you all crossed that stage? Yes. Right. What is the third stage? सिर्फ साधुओं को घर पे बुला के खाना खिलाते हैं हम लोग. हम लोग बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं, खाते पीते लोग हैं, खिलाते भी हैं, हम खाते भी हैं, खिलाते भी हैं. ट्रू और फॉल्स? फॉल्स. साधु संघ के बाद करना क्या होता है? भजन क्रिया. राइट. भजन क्रिया मीन्स नेक्स्ट प्रैक्टिकल स्टेप. व्हाट इज दैट प्रैक्टिकल स्टेप? भजन क्रिया में करना क्या होता है? व्हाट इज डन इन भजन क्रिया? चैंटिंग एंड कीर्तन. कीर्तन इज व्हाट वी डिड. माता जी sang Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, that is what is called as what? Kirtan. Chanting is what? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Both we have to do. Okay. The first one we do to glorify the Lord. Okay, because Lord likes if devotees sing and dance in front of Him. That we do for His pleasure. The second one which we do, and of course in His pleasure lies our purification also. But the second one, japa, is very, very important, because that is our personal connection with Lord, with our own Paramatma, for our purification. As you keep chanting, you move to the, in fact, as soon as you start chanting, you move to the fourth stage, right, which is called as Anartha Nivritti. Anartha Nivritti means what? Removal of all impurities that cover our soul. I shouldn't say our soul, that covers us, because we are the soul. There is nothing called as our soul. I am the soul. That covers us. Okay. The 5 types of impurities. Pride, anger, greed, envy and lust. ये पागलपन सबको है. PAGEL. ये सबको है. तो इसको धोने के लिए क्या करते हैं हम लोग? जाप. इट इज रिक्वायर्ड. नहीं, ये सब करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. बस भगवान दिल में है. इफ एनीवन टेल्स दैट, टेल देम हरे कृष्णा. प्रैक्टिकल है. इफ वाइफ सेज, पतिदेव मैं बहुत प्रेम करती हूँ आपसे, कुछ भूख लगा है, कुछ ब्रेकफास्ट की क्या, तो प्रेम करती हूँ आपसे, बस उसी प्रेम में आप निश्चिंत रहिए. आपके लिए खाना बनाने की क्या आवश्यकता है मुझे. वाइफ बीमार है, हस्बैंड सेज मैं बहुत प्यार करता हूँ देवी, थोड़ा दवा लेके डॉक्टर के पास ले जाएंगे मुझे. नहीं, टाइम नहीं है मेरे पास, लेकिन बहुत प्यार करता हूँ. चलता है ऐसा? नहीं. सो इफ रियली वी लव कृष्णा, भगवान के प्रति कुछ भी है सेंटिमेंट्स, सो व्हाट वी हैव टू डू? We have to do service, but very importantly, we have to make our heart fertile so that he can come and sit there. Krishna has to come and sit. What is Krishna's favorite food? So by chanting, our heart becomes soft like makhan. So Krishna comes and steals that heart. Hard heart mein nahi aayenge Bhagwan. Krishna does not enter a hard-hearted fellow's life. Okay. So by chanting process, we have to soften our heart. What are some of the symptoms that अपना heart soft हो रहा है? कैसे पता है मेरा heart soft हो रहा है? What are the external symptoms of that? Very good. First step is humility, नम्रता. जो आदमी ऐसे घमंड से चल के आएगा, अपना हार्ट सॉफ्ट हो गया है अभी, बोल अभी नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या है? नो, वो देख के पता चलता है, नहीं हुआ है, कुछ नहीं हुआ है. करेक्ट. Someone came, I remember many years back, someone said, all of you know, you have to give me respect. I am senior devotee. Huh? I am what? Senior devotee. बोले ये क्या है ये? ऐसा कोई बोलता है? I am senior devotee. I am advanced devotee. You should respect. ऐसा होता है कभी? पहले उधर ही दिख रहा है, गया है. करेक्ट, राइट. इट्स लाइक बोलते हैं ना, जो चोर है वो बोलता है सर मैंने कुछ नहीं किया. क्राइम पेट्रोल, सब चोर यही कहते हैं, सब खूनी यही कहते हैं, बोलते हो. करेक्ट, नो? लाइक दैट. सो देयरफॉर द साइन ऑफ एडवांसमेंट इज व्हाट? वन डज नॉट कंसिडर वन advanced, one considers everyone else as advanced. What is an example of that? Duryodhan and Yudhishthir both were sent on a mission. दोनों को बोला you both, तुम लोग राज्य में जाओ और देखो तुमसे बढ़कर कोई है क्या कोई. Okay. So what happened? Who came back? Duryodhan came back and sang that famous song, हमसे बढ़कर कौन. Right? कोई नहीं है बोलते हो, मैं ही हूँ, मेरे से बढ़ के मुझे कोई दिखाई नहीं. I never saw anyone in the kingdom who is more glorious than me. Who said that? Duryodhan. And Yudhishthir Maharaj said, I can't see anyone who is more fallen than me. Everyone is so advanced. So who is more advanced than? Yudhishthir. Okay? So there are symptoms of advancement that one can see. Like humility is one. There are many. Humility is one. Second is taste for holy name. The biggest sign of advancement in bhakti is what happens? One gets nama ruchi. What is that? नाम रुचि. नाम, भगवान के नाम जापने में जिसको रुचि आ गया है, that's a sure shot sign that the devotee is advancing in spiritual life. वो पक्का फास्ट प्लेन में है, फास्टेस्ट प्लेन, रॉकेट प्लेन में बैठा है वो. राइट. व्हाट इज दैट? नाम रुचि. सो देयरफॉर वी हैव टू टेक द होली नेम वेरी सीरियसली. जिंदगी में कुछ भी सीरियसली नहीं लिया तो भी चलता है, बट वन थिंग विच वी कैन नॉट, उसको नज़रअंदाज नहीं कर सकते हैं. वन थिंग विच वी कैन नॉट इग्नोर इज व्हाट? द होली नेम्स ऑफ द लॉर्ड कीपिंग इन आवर टंग ऑल द टाइम. That is your primary asset which you will take back, which all of us will take back when we leave. That asset nobody can take away from you. All other assets people will take away. Credit card, bank balance, सब निकल जाएगा. Right? But this asset, ये पूंजी जो है, the taste for holy name, nobody can take away from you. And in the next lifetime, one starts at where one left. Come to our temple and see some of the children. Since childhood they have a attraction for the holy name. Who are these people who have left there in the spiritual life in the previous lifetime? They are those children, right? So it is indeed a glorious birth. It is indeed a glorious birth to be born in a devotee family and to have developed taste for the holy name. So I am going to ask this question for the first time. I have never asked this all these days. But how many of you are at least chanting one round per day? One round of Hare Krishna mantra. एक ही, सिर्फ एक माला. Every day. Very nice. How many of you would like to chant minimum one mala every day? Would like to? Would like to? बिंदास हाथ ऊपर करो. Don't, ऐसा मत करना, कुछ नहीं होगा. ऐसा आने दो हाथ ऊपर. Okay. How many of you who would like to chant one round in a day will tell the Lord right now, I will chant one round in a day out of whoever raised. अभी आपने इंटेंट बताया, अभी कमिटमेंट बताइए भगवान को. भगवान आपसे 6 मिनट का कमिटमेंट ले रहे हैं. 6 मिनट अपना लाइफ का, 6 मिनट्स ऑफ योर लाइफ. कर सकते हैं ये कमिटमेंट? एक माला कृष्णा के लिए, एक माला, सिर्फ एक. 6 मिनट मांग रहे हैं भगवान अपने से. क्या नहीं दिया है उन्होंने अपने को? 6 मिनट. वेरी गुड. ये कमिटमेंट आपने जो कर लिया, ट्रस्ट मी, दिस इज द बिगेस्ट स्टेप इन दिस एंटायर लाइफ दैट यू हैव टेकन. अभी जो किया आपने, यू विल नॉट रियलाइज इट. आपको समझ में बोलते ये ऐसे ही बस एग्जैजरेट कर रहा है, कुछ बड़ा बड़ा भाषण दे रहा है, ऐसे ही बोल के जा रहा है. नो, आई मीन इट. दिस इज द बिगेस्ट कमिटमेंट एंड यू विल कम एंड टेल अस, यस, यही लम्हा था वो जो जिंदगी बदल दिया. यू विल कम बैक एंड टेल अस. आई डोंट वांट टू टेल एनीथिंग मोर देन दिस. हु एम आई टू टेल? यू विल कम बैक. आप खुद ही आप आके बोलोगे, ठीक है, दैट यस, यही मेरा गेम चेंजिंग मोमेंट था लाइफ में. दैट यू हैव स्टार्टेड चैंटिंग मिनिमम one round. You have agreeing, you are committing to the Lord. अभी first time we are committing. भगवान के पास when we go, हे कृष्णा, हे भगवान, ऑफिस में ठीक नहीं चल रहा है, धंधा पानी मंदी है, थोड़ा कुछ ठीक कर दे. अगर भगवान ने बोला देखता हूं, चौकस कोशिश करता हूं, सपोज ही आंसर्स लाइक दैट, हाउ डू यू फील? क्या भगवान क्या देखते हो यार, करो ना यार कुछ. बट वेन वी डील विद द लॉर्ड, वी डोंट वांट टू डू एनी कमिटमेंट टू हिम, बट ही हैज टू बी कमिटेड टू अस. व्हाट काइंड ऑफ डील इज दिस? ये कौन सा सौदा है? व्हाट काइंड ऑफ डील इज दिस दैट गॉड शुड ऑलवेज कमिट टू fulfilling our expectations, but we will not commit anything for him? What kind of deal is this? What kind of selfishness is this? Right? So minimum one round we should commit. And you know what will happen? If you take one step towards him, he will take 10 steps towards you. I am not saying this. He says in Bhagavad Gita, ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. I will reciprocate in proportion to your surrender. Usually he reciprocates more, much more than our surrender. Apna surrender itna hota hai, but his reciprocation is this much. Why? Because Krishna sees that this person is serious. How do we show our seriousness in bhakti? When we take the bead bag and we start chanting, right? Because that is the yuga dharma for Kali Yuga. You cannot say, मैं मंदिर जाऊंगी, भगवान को माला चढ़ाऊंगी, नारियल चढ़ाऊंगी, I will put $50 in the hundi. All that is fine. But what is the basic thing? Suppose one day, I'll tell you something, one prank we played. We shouldn't have played. I'm very sorry about that prank. But in college days and all, we used to have parties in school and all that. So all the boys told the girls that कल सब लोग ना इडली सांभर खाएंगे, तो हम लोग इडली बना के लाते हैं, आप लोग सांभर बनाओ. Next day the poor girl brought सांभर. The boys was just fooling around. सांभर करके करेंगे क्या अभी? The girls were really upset. No? This was college prank days. Okay, but I'm quoting that example now, that if we do everything else but don't chant, it is like just the sambar without the idli. Does it make sense? Or is this the food without salt, namak ke bagair wala? Or it is the sweet without sugar? Because what permeates every aspect of our service to Krishna is what? That, right? So therefore, now whenever many of you who are employees, I'm not talking about businessmen, when you joined your office, many of you would have been on probation. Do you remember that? We had probation. Why probation is kept? You tell me. Why probation? Probation में क्यों रखते हैं?
To
Before permanent. To see how you are performing before the company can commit something to you. Does that make sense? Okay. So, the chanting which you do before you find your guru is the commitment which you are giving to Krishna, such that he will be compelled, then encouraged to direct you to your guru. I am repeating this. I know this has gone above the head for some people. The chanting which we do now without a guru is the probationary chanting which you are doing, by which Krishna will accept that this student is coming seriously, इसको seriously मेरे पास आना चाहता है या आना चाहती है, not time pass, right? And then what happens? In proportion to that, because we have taken that first step and showing seriousness in chanting, Krishna then sends us to that. He then directs us to our guru. How does he direct us? This is the job of your Paramatma. Paramatma knows sincerely this person is chanting now. And therefore Paramatma is known as Chaitya Guru. Paramatma directs us to our actual Guru. Okay? And that Guru will manifest. The Lord says, okay, you can flick your machines now. Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Now I am going to familiarize you with a lot of Bhagavad Gita verses now. By the time you do that, you had a question, Prabhuji.
So the question I have is, why do we have to chant it out loud? Or why can't, because there is Paramatma in us, right? Why can't that a silent chant be considered? And why does it have to be out loud or?
Silent chanting can be done at an advanced stage of bhakti, not in the initial stages. Okay. A person who is chanting will realize why not silent chanting. The moment we do silent chanting, na, थोड़ी देर के बाद, that's what will happen. Does it make sense? यही होगा silent chanting में. Chanting is an activity of the senses. So when we chant Hare Krishna, for example, suppose boss से promotion चाहिए, will we stand in folded hands in front of the boss? Boss will say promotion letter. ऐसा होता है कभी? Boss को बोलना होता है, sir, actually, I have been working in this organization for a long time. Sir, as you are aware that I have been performing very well. I have not only done my job, but I have taken extra load also. I was just thinking that it may be a good time for me to, kind of realize my, move on to the next stage. I would definitely want to take more load. This blah blah everyone does. So we have to talk to our boss. Who is our supreme boss? Krishna. So chanting is our talking to him. What are we asking in this chanting? Oh Krishna, please keep me in your service. Oh Radharani. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Oh, that is also there, but this japa usually we don't do for दूसरा लोग. जैसा वो बोलते हैं ना एयरक्राफ्ट में, पहले कृपया अपने मुख पे लगाएं, फिर दूसरे के, ऐसा. सो ये जो जपा जो है, पहले हम लोग क्या करना है, we do it primarily, it is our connection with the Lord. Okay. Yes, the point is right. We do it for उद्धार also. But खुद ही मेरा डामाडोल है तो मैं दूसरों का उद्धार कहाँ करूँगा? फर्स्ट क्लास. क्या गुजराती था क्या वो? क्या फिर से बोलिए जरा. पहले सुख अपने को लिया. पहले सुख से जाति ना लिया. जाते लिया. हाँ. यानी अपनी हेल्थ अच्छी है तो आप सब कुछ कर सकते हो. करेक्ट. राइट. खुद का बैंड बजा हुआ है तो क्या होगा? कुछ नहीं कर सकते हम लोग. करेक्ट. So therefore, this chanting is a plea to the Lord. What is the chanting? It's a plea. It's a prayer, fervent prayer. So we intensely pray. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Please मेरे को यार, please यार. ये pride, ये anger, ये greed, ये envy, lust कहीं नहीं जा रहा है मेरा यार. कितना साल से कर रहा हूँ. Please Krishna, Hare Krishna. That's the mood in which we chant. Please keep me in your service. Krishna, please, मेरा नंबर पहला. नंबर पहला आने का तो we tell no, me like that. This is that chanting, and that's the reason why the predecessors have said that we must chant loudly. Okay, but as we progress in bhakti to a very higher and higher stages, then what happens? Then the person is chanting subconsciously. उस समय our chanting is not based on rules and regulations. Okay, I am going to preempt something to you now. Okay, I have not done it so early in any program, but I am going to preempt this in this class. Okay, there are two types of bhakti. Okay, because ये बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, ये 9 types उधर, ये 3 stages उधर, you will get confused. But I didn't want to. But I will tell you today. One is called as Vaidhi Bhakti. Okay, one is called as what? Vaidhi Bhakti. And the second one is called as Raganuga Bhakti. Okay, they are both types of practicing devotional. Practice. Sadhana Bhakti के दो प्रकार हैं. Sadhana means practice, devotional service and practice. First is called as what? Vaidhi Bhakti, and the second is Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga. Okay. Vaidhi means Vidhi Purvak karna. Vaidhi means what? Vidhi Purvak. Vaidhi means to do everything in accordance with how in scriptures it has been said. Right? Where pronunciation, posture, taking bath, everything becomes important. But when a person reaches a very advanced stage in bhakti, then none of these rules are applicable. Then what happens? A devotee, even when the devotee is sleeping, what's happening? In the breathing, what's going on? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Har saans mein Bhagwan ka naam. So Prabhuji, your question is very valid, but that is an advanced stage of bhakti. Initial stage mein apne ko ye karna padega. Till we come to that stage, which Krishna calls as in Bhagavad Gita the stage of Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. The stage when continuously a devotee is Man mein chal raha hai. You know, he is always offering obeisances to me, praying to me, nothing. The devotee, mere siva kuch hai hi nahi uske duniya mein. That's an advanced stage. But to come to that advanced stage, our teachers, spiritual teachers have said that you have to practice till you come to the advanced stage. Like that. Okay? So that's the short answer. So that Raga Nuga is called as the advanced stage, where your bhakti is very spontaneous. मतलब आपको rules and regulations की जरूरत नहीं है. For example, let us say आज भगवान को भोग लगाने का, right? Let us say I want to offer a mango to the Lord. Okay? How will you offer mango to the Lord? Anyone? How will you offer? कैसा करोगे? हाँ? ऐसे एक सिल्वर का प्लेट होगा, फिर एक मैंगो होगा, वो मैंगो को धोगे, फिर उसको रखोगे, फिर तुलसी रखोगे उसके ऊपर, फिर ओम केशवाय नमः, ओम नारायणाय नमः, ओम माधवाय नमः, ओम गोविंदाय नमः करोगे. Purify yourself. Then you say, pay obeisances to the Lord. Then what you'll say? Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Preshta Pramayata. We'll do all the prayers and then we'll say, Lord, please grahan kijiye. How did Shabri offer bear to the Lord? ले लो. Can I do that? भगवान अच्छा है, ले लो. भगवान बोलेगा ठीक है भाई. Don't be over familiar. Correct, no? Like you go to your boss and you know, if boss is saying something, you know, what's your favorite footy team, you know, boss says, you know, whatever, Richmond is my favorite footy team. Mine is also Richmond. Hey, come on, give me a big fight. Hey, hang on, man, I'm the VP. बहुत ज़्यादा मत नज़दीक आना. उंगली दे तो हाथ मत पकड़. Does it make sense? So we also should not do it with the Lord. So initially what we do, we have been advised to worship the Lord in pure dasya, which means in the mood of awe and reverence as Bhagavan. Later on, when our chanting matures, then we start getting into what? Getting into the mood of ras with the Lord. When that happens, then no rules and regulations are required. Then Shabri can just give anything, Sudama can give some old rice, and Krishna will say, अरे क्या लेके आया यार मेरे लिए तू? You know, बोलते हैं जूना राइस, क्या पता नहीं है जूना राइस, fresh offer करना चाहिए मुझे, ऐसा नहीं बोलते हैं भगवान. Because what Krishna wants to see is, what does he accept? What does he accept? Does he want our bear? Did Ramchandra, was he looking? इधर bear मिलेगा तो जरा देखना यार. Was he roaming around for bear fruit? No, he doesn't need anything. All he needs is what? Is our love. Okay, so what will happen? That love will mature only as our pride, anger, greed, envy and lust go down. ये पागलपन नीचे, वो प्यार ऊपर. तो शास्त्रों में क्या लिखा है इसके लिए? Directly we don't jump. धीरे धीरे प्यार को बढ़ाना है, हद से गुजर जाना है. This is from मुंडका उपनिषद. Okay. Why you all are laughing? ये सुना नहीं उपनिषद में आप लोगों ने? क्या आप बात कर रहे हो? मेरे को तो पता ही नहीं था, मैं तो संत हूँ. Okay, yes. Okay, but I told you this so that you remember this. Okay, I deliberately said this. ये तो याद रहेगा ना, बाकी सब भूल गया. माता जी आपका एक क्वेश्चन था, कमिंग टू यू. एक मिनट. हाँ, सो इज इज ओके. आज कुछ भी याद नहीं है तो ये याद रखना, धीरे धीरे वी कीप प्रोग्रेसिंग. कृष्ण प्रेम को बढ़ाना है और फिर क्या करना है, हद से गुजर जाना है उसके बाद. बिकॉज देयर इज नो लिमिट टू कृष्ण भक्ति. एक मिनट प्रभु जी, इन्होंने पहला हाथ उठाया था, उनको पहला. यस.
Why do we have to count? Can't we just say Hare Krishna all the time?
Very good. Why do we have to count? Okay. So when I told my son, okay, recite me timetables every day. So I said, why do I have to recite, daddy? I'll do it myself. Leave me alone. Matlab means what? He will never do it. So to count our rounds is to eventually come to the point of not counting our rounds. To count our rounds is essentially to come to the platform where we don't count our rounds, right? Counting our rounds is our probationary period of bhakti. It's our sadhana, vaidhi period, vidhi purvak karna. Prabhupada ने क्या बोला है? Minimum 16. Okay. All of us have had this question. मैंने तो पहला यही पूछा, मैं बोला ये क्या है यार, और ये 16 कहाँ से है, कौन सा शास्त्र में लिखा है भाई 16 माला करना है, और गिनना पड़ता है क्या ये सब? यस. तो गिनने की आवश्यकता नहीं है एक्चुअली इन वन सेंस, बिकॉज दिस बीड इज डिजाइंड विथ 108 बीड्स. अगर आप ये करोगे तो आपको पता चल जाएगा एक राउंड हो गया. सो यू डोंट हैव टू काउंट मेरा कितना काउंट रखा है. नो, अदरवाइज काउंट में ध्यान जाएगा, कृष्णा का नाम पे ध्यान नहीं जाएगा. सो दैट इज वाई चैंटिंग ऑन बीड इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज, ये 16 माला ही क्यों करना है? 16 माला एक्चुअली नहीं लिखा है, किधर भी शास्त्रों में नहीं लिखा है. शास्त्रों में क्या लिखा है? नो, शास्त्र नेवर से 64 राउंड्स. नो. ओके, फ्लिक योर भगवत गीता नाउ. अभी खोलो भगवत गीता शुरू. आप खुद ही देख लीजिए भगवत गीता में. हाँ, वेरी गुड. हर सांस में कृष्ण का नाम बराबर है, बट कृष्ण ने वो लैंग्वेज में नहीं बोला. कृष्ण ने जो लैंग्वेज में बोला वो हम बताएंगे आपको. ओके, सो आई फॉर विच इज द नंबर? सततम कीर्तयन्तो माम. ये मेरे को जरा भगवत गीता दे, और यू कैन फाइंड आउट, और मेरे को दे दो. हरे कृष्णा. आई विल टेल यू विच सेक्शन. 9.14. ओके, गो टू 9th चैप्टर इन वेदा बेस भगवत गीता एंड 14th टेक्स्ट में जाइए. 9.14. Okay, let's chant this verse loudly. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhavritah namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. Translation: always chanting my glories. What does that mean? सततम कीर्तन कब करना चाहिए? ऑलवेज. एक ही काम है, पूरा मनुष्य जीवन का एक ही कार्य है कीर्तन. दैट्स ऑल. देयर इज नो अदर इंपॉर्टेंट वर्क दैट वी हैव मोर देन chanting. All other things is for our pleasure we do, right? So always, so this is the standard which Krishna has given. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So what is the praman of highest level of devotion? One who does not count, rather one who is always chanting. So your question is very nice. No need to count, provided we are always chanting. Now that we know whether we are always chanting or not. Ask me, if you ask me, मेरे से नहीं होगा. I am not at that level right now where I am always chanting, because sometimes I also go to work where I don't chant. Sometimes after coming, then what happens? We want other entertainment. Correct or no? IPL, IPL चाहिए. Right? So it is a big level to come to the point of always chanting. So what Prabhupada said, we have to regulate our chantings. At least start with minimum. Actually, Krishna said, continuous chanting. But what happened? The acharyas down the line, they are more merciful. What they told, for example, I don't know which college is, AIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences. They say, we want 99.95 if to give you admission in AIMS college. Okay. The वो अभी criteria उन्होंने लगा दिया 99.95. Okay. But then what happens? I have only 74.5. But what happens? I have Shifarish Devata. You know what is Shifarish Devata? Recommendation. Minister's letter. अरे पांडे जी, हाँ अपना ही आदमी, हाँ अरे सर, हाँ मैं बोलता हूँ, अरे ले लो, अपना बच्चा है, अभी क्या मेडिसिन बोला बच्चे ने. And then what happens? The principal says, I don't know whether it works like that in AIMS, but I'm saying, sometimes what happens? We may not get through merit, but we will definitely get through Shifarish. But this Shifarish is not like that government job Shifarish. Huh? I gave a material example just to make you understand. This is the recommendation of somebody who is so dear to the Lord that that person's request Krishna will never deny. Does that make sense? And who is that person? The spiritual master. So what happened in the lineage, in the pedigree, in the parampara of people coming in as gurus, Krishna said सततम कीर्तयन्तम, वो तो बोल के चले गए. Okay, अभी मैं सततम कीर्तन नहीं कर सकता हूँ. I can't do it in Kali Yuga. I have so many other things to do. What will I do? So therefore, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, minimum 64 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. क्योंकि कली का इफेक्ट कितना है? घोर कलियुग का इफेक्ट. If you have to counter 64 करेंगे तो भी कलियुग का इम्पैक्ट करता है. Right? तो he said 64 rounds per day. And that is not practicable for most people in Kali Yuga. Right? Therefore, what happened? Again, his disciple came Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said, okay, 16. उससे ज़्यादा नहीं, no negotiation. Right? So Prabhupada said minimum 16. And Prabhupada said what? He didn't say chant 16. He said minimum 16 bola. Which means he has not changed whatever Krishna has said. Infinity is also same as minimum 16. Correct, no? Minimum 16 means it can be infinite also is minimum 16. Right? So therefore, the acharyas who have come, they are more merciful than Bhagavan himself. And we will talk about that later on. We will talk about some details about, we will get into the intricacies of various stages of bhakti. At some point in time, we will do that. Stage by stage, kya challenges aayega, wo sab we will talk about that. But right now, it will suffice to say that minimum 16 rounds. That is what, who said? Prabhupada. But then there are Prabhupada's followers also, no? What they request? Minimum 1. Minimum 1. Why? Why? It's like my yoga teacher. Initially, if they tell you, Pratidin, kam se kam, 1 hour you have to do. One hour. What will happen? People like me, after 10 minutes, bore ho raha hai. Kal karta hu. This is what happens. I am talking about myself. Huh? I am like that. Right? So for people like me, what she said? 10 minutes kijiye. Okay. And then what happens? When I do this, then what happens? I slowly start getting used to starting something. And then I see benefits of that, and then what happens? Then the teacher says, अभी आप 5 मिनट बढ़ाएं, 15 मिनट. Correct? And then gradually what will happen? Come to that which is required, which is 1 hour. So that is why we say minimum 1 round. It is like the Pringles chip. Pringles khaya kabhi? As long as you don't take that first chip in the mouth, it's all okay. The moment you put that first Pringles in your mouth, gaya, pura gaya, khatam, uske baad. Correct? Control hi nahi hota. Correct, no? Now that is a negative example. The positive example, sorry?
No one can eat just once.
No one can eat just once. Correct. Okay, so this is much more tastier than the Pringles chips. So when you really start chanting in a serious way, you will realize that you don't want to stop. It is only your material duties. You will say that नहीं अभी मुझे बच्चे के लिए खाना बनाना है. right? So the sign of advancement is actually not counting the rounds, which doesn't mean काउंट ही नहीं करना है तो एक करेगा तो भी काफी. नो, नॉट दैट मोड, नॉट इन दैट सेंस. मैं काउंट नहीं करती हूँ क्योंकि मुझे 16 में रुकना नहीं है, तो मैं क्यों काउंट करूँ? इफ दैट इज द मूड ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, नो प्रॉब्लम, नो नीड टू count, because then you are already going towards Satatam Kirtayantama. Because so much taste we have developed for the holy name that I can't now stop chanting. I need, Rupa Goswami said, I need millions of tongues. एक टंग नहीं, मुझे और भी, I need more tongues. Where every tongue of mine is vibrating your holy names of Krishna and Ram. Like that. So that is the short answer to that question. Okay, maybe it was a little bit long, but right? But very good questions, both of you have asked. Okay, now we'll come back to our topic. What are we discussing? Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. Bhajana Kriya means this process of chanting. So what I was explaining is, now the chanting, whatever you are doing, is your probationary stage of chanting. Whatever chanting that we are doing now is the probationary stage of chanting. Krishna acknowledges your probationary performance and awards you with a spiritual master. Okay. So getting a spiritual master is the reward for doing a good job at probationary chanting. Right. Now the question is, a spiritual master, where will I find them? Right? Where will I find them? ये कहाँ मिलते हैं spiritual master? In which marketplace or which website I should go? Which Amazon.com I should say Guru? And then they'll say, okay, deals are there. So how do you find a Guru? And there is a science behind that. So today we will talk little bit about that science. Okay. There will be some information that I will give you, which you can note down if you want to. It is good for you if you note down so that you can remember. I will start by defining university and college teacher. ये तीनों याद रखना. University, college, teacher. Remember these three things. Everyone will remember this. UCT. University, college, teacher. Suppose someone tells me, what have you done? Well, I am a neurosurgeon. What is the next thing? Oh, you are a neurosurgeon. Oh, very good. Oh, you studied in Bombay University, Chennai University, American Harvard University? No. At home only. I studied home. I understood. Shall I start? Where do I start from? You will say, hang on. I'll call you, don't call. No? I'll call you. Correct? Why? Because neurosurgeon cannot print his own certificate. Even if he has latest Canon printer, saying that, self-declared, my own university. That is not possible. We have to go to a bona fide university. A university which is recognized by the government. So therefore, if someone says, I studied at IIT Kharagpur, recognized by government of India, bhai, no problem. I accept you as an engineer because you studied I studied in REC Suratkal. No problem. I studied in College of Engineering Madras. No problem. Accepted. I studied in VJTI Bombay. Accepted. Right? No problem. Because it is recognized. I studied in Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Accepted. Because it is recognized in the world. You can go to a website, you can see such a university exists. Right? It is not like one of those colleges which were started, when I came to Australia, I remember many people went to, XYZ college. What do you do? Prabhu, commercial cookery. Sab log, everyone came from India and then started doing these courses and baad mein taxi chalao. Because none of these colleges were recognized. Scam was going on in the name of institutes, right? I remember one devotee, he went and did what? मैं बोला किधर पढ़ रहे हो? Marjorie Milner College. मैं बोला ये कौन सा यूनिवर्सिटी है? प्रभु है उधर, झीलोंग में. मैं बोला oh, how do you do job? जाना ही नहीं होता है कॉलेज में. What kind of? And after that person had to lift weight in coals for many years and developed back pain. right? That is the value of that certificate. Marjorie Milner, it's like toilet paper, no value, right? So value will come if you study in a recognized university, okay? Because a recognized university is recognized because of the building? No, because of the governance in that. There is governance. सबको परखा जाता है. People take interviews before you can enter, become a teacher in faculty in Melbourne Uni. You will have to go through severe interview process. They will select the best teachers, right? So that is why a university becomes bona fide. And when a university is established at the highest level, for example, let us say, I don't know which university, most of you are from which place? Okay, let's say Gujarat, because many from Gujarat, okay. Gujarat, some university is there. What is that called? Gujarat University? Okay, whatever that university, हाँ. अभी उसके अंदर so many colleges will be affiliated. Does it make sense? Lakshmi Narayan Institute of Technology, Maharaja Sayoja Institute of Baroda, you know. और कौन सा कॉलेज है भाई? गुजरात का आरईसी कौन सा है? आरईसी सूरत, रीजनल इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज, NIT सूरत. So these are all colleges which are affiliated with Gujarat. They are recognized like that. Okay. So there is a university and then there are institutes which are affiliated with that university. Is that clear to everyone so far? And because of that affiliation, the institute also gets credibility. You can say, okay, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar College of Engineering. They will say, okay, कौन सा university है भाई? Mumbai University, affiliated. Okay. Certificate, Mumbai University. Very good. Right? So that is how it is affiliated. Okay. Now in that university, in that college which is affiliated with the university, there will be a pedigree of teachers. Pushpa teacher, Ganesh, Seturaman teacher, Pinto teacher, D'Souza teacher. Okay, वो क्या होगा? एक परंपरा से आएगा teachers. Does it make sense to you? So university, college and it's called as parampara. Okay. So like that, where will you find your guru? So the Shastras, the Vedas have recommended that first of all, if someone is calling himself my guru, so you have to ask him which university. But you can't, obviously, you don't use the word, kaun sa university ke guru ho? So in Sanskrit it is called as what? Sampradaya. Note down. Sampradaya. Sampradaya is akin to university. In Sanskrit it's called Sampradaya. Vedas say कोई भी गुरु एक संप्रदाय से होना चाहिए. Okay, clear? That is the first level. You should ask कौन से संप्रदाय में हो. He said आप उनका खुद का ही संप्रदाय है, कल ही खोला. What happens? You can say Hare Krishna, come to Altona Meadows program. Okay, you can't risk. खुन्नो संप्रदाय, खुद का ही गुरु. अपन कल सोच लिया, अपन ही गुरु है. This is called as राजू बन गया gentleman. Okay, ऐसा नहीं होता है. Correct? So therefore, every guru has to be affiliated, connected with a bona fide, recognized sampradaya. Recognized by who? आपने वो सवाल ही नहीं पूछा. Recognized by who? Recognized by Krishna. मेरे को क्या मालूम कृष्णा रिकॉग्नाइज किया है या नहीं, मैं तो रास्ते से जा रहा था. मेरे को क्या मालूम संप्रदाय रिकॉग्नाइज्ड है या नहीं. How will I know? That's your question. That is because all the sampradayas are mentioned in the scriptures. शास्त्रों में है. There are authorities. Who has appointed these authorities? Krishna has appointed these authorities. That these are the authorities. इनके संप्रदाय में रहोगे, no problem. You have to practice bhakti under these sampradayas. ठीक है? Who are the four main people who Krishna has appointed? First is Brahma ji, Sampradayik head, chancellor, vice chancellor of the one university. Brahma Sampradaya coming from Brahma. Second is Sampradaya coming from Lakshmi. It is called as Sri Sampradaya. First is Brahma Sampradaya. Second is Sri Sampradaya. जो लक्ष्मी जी से आता है. Immediately mind will say, अपन वो संप्रदाय में जाएंगे यार, अपने को पैसा का वैसे भी आंदा है. No, don't think like that. This is bhakti we are talking. तीन खोपड़ी रख के क्या मेरे को मिलने वाला है, उससे अच्छा थोड़ा माल आ जाए. No. We are talking about bhakti. I know mind sometimes will go crooked. लक्ष्मी जी वाला वो अच्छा लगेगा थोड़ा. Right? So Sri Sampradaya. Brahma, Lakshmi. And then the third Sampradaya is what? Shivji. Lord Shiva. Authorized to start a Vaishnava Sampradaya. Right? He is authorized to start a Vaishnava Sampradaya. And the fourth is the Chatuk Kumaras. Char Kumar. Sanak, Sanatan, Sanand and Sanatan हो गया ना? Sanak. Thank you. Yeah, Sanak, Sanatan. Okay, so 4 Kumaras. Okay. What is the name of that? Kumara Sampradaya. Brahma, revision. Okay, Brahma Sampradaya, starting from Brahmaji, starting from Lakshmiji, which is called Sri Sampradaya, starting from Shivaji, which is called as Rudra Sampradaya. And then the fourth is Kumara Sampradaya. Okay. Right? These are the 4 Sampradayas. Right? Now you may ask a question. What about Shankara Sampradaya? Adi Shankara wala. आपने ये क्यों नहीं बताया? That will be your, it may be your question. Okay. Right? I know many of you don't have such questions. नहीं आया ना ये सवाल. आया. But some people will have. What about Shankara Sampradaya? Okay. Sorry, what about, Shankara Sampradaya. Now, Shankar and Rudra, are they different? No. They are the same. But still, there is something called as Shankara Sampradaya, which lies outside of this. And the same Shankara, who is Rudra, is also coming under Vaishnava Sampradaya. Now you will wonder, ये क्या है भाई? समझ में नहीं आया. शिव जी यहाँ भी है, वहाँ भी है. कैसे वो? Now I will go back to your revision. What are the 3 aspects of the absolute truth? Whoever should not answer, I have indicated. The absolute truth is understood in 3 aspects. What are those? Absolute truth जो परम सत्य है, उसके 3 पहलू हैं. Think. Yes. Very good. Okay. आज आपको ये बस करा के रहेंगे हम आज. Because you should not forget it. ये भूल गए तो कुछ फायदा नहीं है. Okay. Go to Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam. First canto. Thank you. Okay. Go to first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In that, go to first chapter. First chapter or second chapter? Second chapter. Chapter 2. Okay. And if anyone is faster, please tell me. So that
1 to 11.
Huh?
1 to 11.
2.11. First canto, second chapter, 11th verse. First canto, second chapter, 11th verse. 1 to 11. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, this is not Bhagavad Gita. Yes, we will all recite this. Everyone, सबको मिल गया? Vadanti tat मिल गया सबको? Okay, let's chant together. Vadanti tat tattva vedas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. Okay, translation. Learned transcendentalists. What is a transcendentalist? मैंने वो भी explain किया था आप लोगों को. Who can tell me what is transcendental mean? Which is above the 3 modes of material nature. That's called as transcendental. तीन गुणों से बाहर. So such people who are transcendental, who are beyond Satgun, Rajagun and Tamagun, who have crossed all these stages, such learned transcendentalists, they realize that absolute truth in three stages. What are the three stages? Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. Thank you. Brahman is the effulgence of the Lord. It is the impersonal aspect of the absolute truth, which is called as Brahma Jyoti. Okay? Paramatma is the localized aspect of the Lord. And Bhagavan is with who you can develop a eternal relationship in one of the five rasas. I have explained all this before. Right? Right? So these are the three aspects. There are, despite all Bhagavad Gita knowledge, there will still be transcendentalists who are more attracted to the light more than the Bhagavan aspect. They are bad people. True or false? No way. They are transcendentalists. They are worshipable. Right? We don't condemn them at all. Right? They are just attracted to the effulgence of the Lord. And their goal is what? To merge into the effulgence. They are happy being in the Brahma Jyoti layer. Brahman mein vileen hona. Right? So Vaishnava Sampradaya means beyond Brahman. The moment Vaishnavism comes, it is always beyond Brahman. So therefore, Lord Shiva, he had two Sampradayas he started. One, he came as Adi Shankara to propound the impersonal aspect of the Lord. Okay? Therefore, if you see Adi Shankara's initial commentaries and all, it will talk more about Brahman, 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 Brahma Jyoti, the light. Correct? He will talk about that. That's an impersonal. So, people who are more affiliated with the impersonal and who want to practice impersonalism, impersonalistic bhakti, then what happens? They go to that university. Does it make sense? Yes. And then people who want to take to Vaishnava Sampradaya, who want to understand the next two stages of the absolute truth, which is Paramatma and Bhagavan, they come and take to Vaishnava Sampradaya, and same Rudra, Lord Shiva, starts his own Rudra Sampradaya. Okay? Like that. In that lineage there are so many acharyas. Right? Now, let us take Sri Sampradaya, for example, started by Lakshmi ji. What is the headquarters of that? Where is the present headquarters of the Sri Sampradaya? In Sri Rangam. Okay? That is the Sampradaya which started from Lakshmi. Lakshmi ji is also known as Tayar. Okay? Mother. So, that whole Sampradaya, Vishnu Sampradaya, Vaishnava Sampradaya is very, very prevalent in South India specifically. Sri Sampradaya. Right? Lakshmi ji. She started that Sampradaya, but the worship is of Vishnu, Sri Ranganadhar, Vishnu. Right? So, there are a lot of institutions that come under Sri Sampradaya as well. Does that make sense? Yeah. Similarly, in different Sampradayas, there will be many colleges or institutes which are affiliated with that Sampradaya. Talking about Brahma Sampradaya. Okay? We are now talking about Brahma Sampradaya. That university which was started by Brahmaji himself. In that Brahma Sampradaya, there are various institutions which are affiliated with the Brahma Sampradaya. ISKCON is one such institution. So, if somebody tells, ISKCON mein hi bhakti kar sakte ho. No, that is a fanatic statement. Though I am affiliated with ISKCON, still I am telling you that. Right? But ISKCON mein bhakti kar sakte ho? Haan, kar sakte ho. ISKCON mein hi bhakti kar sakte ho? Nahin. There are other Sampradayas also, and there are other institutes also affiliated with Brahma Sampradaya. Right? Okay? Clear? So, no fanatic statements. ISKCON is one of the options you have to do your bhakti under. Right? And then there are many other institutes also. There is Chaitanya Saraswat Math, there is Gaudiya Math. These are all institutions under Brahma Sampradaya. Under Brahma Sampradaya comes the famous lineage of Madhvacharya, whose headquarters is in Udupi. Udupi Krishna. Anyone remember? Anyone knows Udupi? In childhood, I only know Udupi Hotel. मालूम है वड़ा सांबर, पोंगल वड़ा, गरम गरम. बाद में मेरे को मालूम पड़ा अच्छा उडुपी वो है क्या. मुल्ला की दौड़ मस्जिद. Correct. So that Udupi, where Krishna is there, that and that is worshipped by which acharyas? Madhvacharya. Anyone from Karnataka or Andhra? You will know Raghavendra Swami. Have you heard of Raghavendra Swami? Mantralayam. In my house, because I ardently worship Raghavendra Swami, so I have a picture of Raghavendra Swami who I worship daily. So that is my gratitude to him, to that personality who I believe brought me to the feet of Prabhupada today. So Raghavendra Swami's grace on me, right? So that is Raghavendra Swami is one guru who comes in the Madhva lineage, which starts from Brahmaji. There is another tree which comes from the lineage of Brahmaji, which is started by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is the tree line in which ISKCON comes under. Is that okay? Is that okay so far? So the Sampradaya, the exact Sampradaya name where ISKCON does is called as Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Okay? Even if you don't remember it, that's okay for now. For now it's okay. Later on you may have to. Not now. Chalega, if you don't remember all this. But the point is that to find a guru, you have to be affiliated with any of these sampradayas. Iske bahar jaoge, then you are taking a risk because there is no governance. What if they cheat you and run away? Correct. Who knows? Unka guru kaun hai? Where is the governance? Right? So what Srila Prabhupada did, what is the biggest contribution of Srila Prabhupada? One is that he went to the America and gave bhakti to everyone. But the biggest thing was he institutionalized bhakti. What did he do? He institutionalized bhakti. When you institutionalize something, then what happens? It gets more credibility in Kali Yuga. For example, if somebody is sitting outside, under a tree in Altona Meadows, how many people will go and attend satsang? Bolenge or maximum what you will do? Bhikari hai. Correct. That's how he may be a beggar also, he may be a saint also. How do you know? Right? In fact, in one lecture, I heard that if you want to become rich, there is a business development proposition. What you have to do? You have to grow a long beard. You have to go and sit in a tree, drill a hole in the tree and put some kumkum and limbu. Keep over there. And under the tree, you have to just sit like this. What will happen gradually? One fellow will come, two fellows will come, three fellows will come. And when 3-4 people come to you, what will happen? 3-4 fellows will tell you their problems. Correct or no? Because you don't know how to solve their problems, it doesn't matter. You say, Tathastu. What is the probability? One fellow's problem will get solved, no? What will that fellow do? He will bring another 4. मेरा solve हो गया, बहुत विश्वास है, श्रद्धा है बाबा के ऊपर, पेड़ वाले बाबा. Right? So this is called as what? Operating purely on sentiment. Operating purely on sentiment. Paid wale baba. Correct? So therefore, if we keep running to paid wale baba, you may be lucky, you may not be lucky. And what will happen? Ghar ka ullu, laut ke ullu ghar ko aaye. That should not happen. So therefore, what Prabhupada did, Prabhupada institutionalized ISKCON, wherein there is a tight governance process on who becomes a spiritual master and who remains as a spiritual master. Sometimes it's easy to become one, but sometimes it's difficult to continue as one. So there is constant governance. Prabhupada said, I want proper governance. That means कोई सन्यासी ऐसा नहीं, बस कल मूड आया वस्त्र धारण कर लिया, नेक्स्ट डे रफू चक्कर गायब. कहाँ गए बाबा? बाबा भाग गए. सुना है किसी के साथ भाग गए हो. सुना है बाबा ने शादी कर ली. we don't want all this. We don't want to get into this muck. Correct? So therefore there are tight standards, there are tight governance. And the governance is based on what? People who please the management. True or false? False. Thank you very much. It has got nothing to do with pleasing management. What is the criteria for governance? You tell me what should be the criteria of governance. If someone is a guru, for someone to be a guru, you tell me. Thank you very much. Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jivha vegam, udara upashta vegam, etan vegan yo vishahe tadiraha, sarvamapi mam prishtim prashishyat. We discussed it in the last class, but you will have forgotten. Some people remembered. Right? That is the criteria you apply for governance. So therefore every guru is tightly screened, that is he following himself, is he on the right path, is he deviating somewhere. So there is a governance. So what happens when we do bhakti under such an institution, then we get predictability, higher probability of success. Right? It is not that somebody cannot fall down, anybody can fall down in this material world. Even from high stage one can fall down. Right? What happened that Vishwamitra Muni was sitting, nicely he was meditating. Oh, till he heard what? Chan chanan chan chan. Rang mein bhang. Sadhana bhang ho gaya unka. Gone. Vishwamitra out ho gaye. 49 out. 99 pe out ho gaye Vishwamitra. Correct? Correct? He went and touched that ball outside the off stump unnecessarily. चुपचाप छोड़ देना चाहिए था उसको. बोला चन चन चन. हाँ हाँ लीला है, बट लीला आउट ना होते तो आज भारत ना होता. हाँ वो तो बराबर है. You are right, but लीला किसके लिए है? लेसन किसके लिए है? अपने लिए. That is why लीला. लीला का मतलब वही है ना. It is a लीला, but लीला क्यों? Because we have been told never take your advancement in bhakti for granted. Never. The moment you take your advancement for granted, that's the time vinasha kale viparita buddhi. That is the time. Because Maya, you remember I told you, if you are a jailer, Pandey ji is the jailer. Hey, pattar tod, break those stones. I thought, kiya na sab. Sab ho gaya, I have broken stones. Can I get more stones to break? Sure. Hey, इसको जरा extra वड़ा पाव देना यार कल. Correct? Who is taken care of nicely in a prison? People who obey. Who is that fellow after whom the police is constantly? Who is trying to escape? So more and more we progress in bhakti, more and more one becomes advanced. Maya, what it does? It intensifies its test. Correct? To a student of first standard, you will not ask what is 87.5% of 32. Will you ask such a question to a first standard student? No. But the moment someone comes to a higher level, he says, no, I am sitting for a competitive management entrance exam for XLRI, Jamshedpur. Then you can ask such a question and expect the student to do it in 5 seconds. Does it make sense to you? So more and more you progress, then what happens? The tests become more and more difficult. Right? So therefore, when very advanced personalities also get very severe tests, and that is that Urvashi, Menaka. Oh sorry, Menaka and Vishwamitra. So those leelas are given for us to understand this concept, that never to become too overconfident and think that we are very advanced now. Always, what is the mood? To stay humble in bhakti, always being very careful that protecting our छोटा सा जो भक्ति का जो पेड़ हमने पौधा लगाया ना, वो छोटा सा पेड़ उगाना, उसको बचा के रखना. Okay, we will talk more about how to protect our bhakti in later classes. Yes, Madhu, you have a question?
You have spoken about 4 sampradayas today. So does religion have something to do with this, or it is irrespective of any religion?
Does religion have something to do with this, or does it not have anything to do with it? It's a very good question. Thank you. And thank you for asking that question more so, because I still owe her. Mataji has asked me to explain this verse. I think Krishna has arranged for you to ask that question, and that this question is very much connected to that verse. Okay, so he is fulfilling her desire now. Okay, so this verse, open up. I'll answer this question now. For the next 15 minutes, let's focus on this, because this is anyway important to understand these things. Okay, so open up Bhagavad Gita and open up chapter 15. Bhagavad Gita, not Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Chapter 15. Everyone open chapter 15? Go to text number 7. 15.7. Yes. Okay. Everyone open 15.7? Okay. So let's recite the verse. Mamai vamsha jivaloke जीवभूत सनातनः मनःषष्ठान इंद्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति. ठीक है. What is the translation? The living entities in this conditioned world, the people like all of us who are living entities in this world, जो हम लोग जी रहे हैं, are my eternal fragmental parts. ममैव अंश मतलब मेरा अंश हो आप लोग. Due to conditioned life, which means due to Maya, due to conditioned life, what is the symptom of conditioning? Pagal. Correct? Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. Right? They are struggling very hard with their senses and with their mind. सबसे बड़ा problem क्या है? मन. So, this is the verse she asked to explain. This verse is very important in the context of your question also. Okay. So, first of all, her question is, she used the word called religion in that question. Right? So, this class is about Hindu religion. And we condemn all other religions in this class. False! Galat jawab. Galat jawab. Okay. This class is not to condemn anyone, this class, but is about Hindu religion. Okay. Who said false? You are right. False. This class is not about Hindu religion. Okay. There is no word called Hindu in the Vedas. Neither there is a place called Hindustan in the Vedas. Okay. Let us understand what is dharma. Religion is an English word. गोरे लोगों ने डाला है वो word. संस्कृत में नहीं है religion. Okay. Sanskrit says dharma. Dharma. We have translated dharma as what? Religion. Okay. Dharma. मेरा धर्म क्या है? So to explain this, there is a book called Jaiva Dharma, which is written by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who is on this altar. From there you cannot see. He is the spiritual, he is the father of Prabhupada's guru. He is the father of Prabhupada's spiritual master. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was Prabhupada's spiritual master. And his father is Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who was also one of his Shiksha gurus. Like that. So, Bhakti Vinod Thakur has written very beautifully what is dharma. He said that dharma is the intrinsic nature of an object. Dharma is the intrinsic or innate nature of an object. If I have to translate in Sanskrit, dharma is the swabhava of a vastu. All of you know what is vastu? Vastu means an object. उसका जो स्वभाव होता है ना उस ऑब्जेक्ट का, वो ही उसका धर्म है. धर्म इज द इनेट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ अ ऑब्जेक्ट. दैट इज कॉल्ड धर्म. धर्म का एक्चुअल मतलब वो है. नाउ आई विल एक्सप्लेन विद एग्जांपल्स, फिर सब ठीक हो जाएगा. आई नो थोड़ा बाउंसर गया वो. ओके. सो पानी का धर्म क्या है? बहना. वो उसका धर्म है. दैट इज द इंट्रिंसिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ दैट object. Water means, Prabhuji, can you get me some water? Suppose I ask him, if he brings ice cubes, बोला पानी दो ना यार. प्रभु ice same प्रभु, water ही है. Is it acceptable? पानी दो भाई. So what is the difference between water and ice?
state of it. Solid liquid.
Solid form.
Correct. Right? When water, whose natural dharma is to flow, is kept under an artificial situation of 0 degrees and below, what happens? That water stops exhibiting its innate dharma. Please understand this. That water stops exhibiting its innate characteristic of flowing. This is the example that Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives in Jaiva Dharma to substantiate very beautifully. Therefore, he says, Mamaiva amsha jiva loke. We are all what? Mamaiva amsha. Example. Let us say, I want somebody, my boss tells me, I am in a research laboratory. My boss tells me, tell me the salt content in the Pacific Ocean. Tell me how much phosphorus is there. Will I go and jump into the Pacific Ocean? And say, I will come back after 20 years, sir. I have to go around the Pacific Ocean. Is that the way? How do? You take a sample and then bring it to your laboratory. And then whatever that is representative of the Pacific Ocean. So, is the water in the test tube Pacific Ocean? Yes. How many say yes? How many say no? Yes. How many say no means yes means what? Yes and no के बीच में हो आप? हाँ? बीच में हो? ठीक है. Okay. लोकसभा. Yes भी नहीं बोला, no भी नहीं बोला. Okay. So therefore, the answer is correct, but yes and no. Now I'll start putting two terms. Qualitatively, yes. Quantitatively, no. Remember this. Qualitatively, yes. That water is Pacific Ocean. But Pacific Ocean है, डूब मरना चाहिए मुझे, मैं डूबने का सोच रहा हूँ. Let me jump into the test tube. Possible? No, because it doesn't have that quantity for you to die. Right? Or let me swim inside the test tube because you said it is Pacific Ocean. No, it is qualitatively one, but it is quantitatively not one. So this is Bhagavan Krishna. We are all what? Part and particles who have come out. Mamaiva amsha jiva loke. We are all amshas. So what is Bhagavan trying to tell us? We are qualitatively one or we are God? We are qualitatively one with Him because we have come out from Him only. So all of us are what? Sat Chit Anand. The nature of the soul, the dharma of the soul. Now I am coming to the word dharma. The intrinsic nature of the soul is not different from the intrinsic nature of Bhagavan. Does it make sense to you now? Qualitative oneness. Right? So the intrinsic nature of the soul is what? To flow towards Bhagavan. To flow towards our Supreme Father. That's our intrinsic nature. Just like the intrinsic nature of water is to flow. But when water comes under the influence of 0 degree freezer, what is that freezer? Beep, what is that freezer? यहाँ पे कौन सा? Samsung fridge. उसके अंदर जब पानी को रखते हो तो what happens? It starts becoming ice and it can no longer exhibit its properties. By taking ice cubes, you cannot quench your thirst. वो quenching का भी नहीं character से चला जाता है पानी का. Why? Because it is not behaving in its true dharma. It is not in its dharma. It is outside its dharma. Dharma is the intrinsic characteristic of an object. Dharma is the svabhava of a vastu. Remember this, right? So, now coming to your question, every soul is part of that supreme absolute truth. Some people call that supreme absolute truth as Allah. Some people call it as God. Some people call that as Krishna. Right? But there is one supreme truth. That supreme truth is known by many names. Right? For example, when I was in school, okay, some people used to call me, hey, battery. I said, what is this? What do you mean by that? Tell me, who knows what does it mean? Because of chasma, right? They call me battery. The name itself is battery. Hey, battery, chal batting kar. You know, even when they want to call me for batting, they say battery. Aja. Hey, battery ko bola. Battery, cover fielding. You know, like so. Now I am not battery. But what has happened, because I am closely associated, I am wearing specs all the time, they call me as, because the way they differentiate me is that I am wearing spectacles. Correct? Like that. So therefore what happens, Bhagwan also, now of course I gave a negative example, okay, or I'll give a nice example. Suppose a girl calls the boy, hi handsome. Hey, where's handsome today? Of course every boy wants to say, आया ना मैं कॉलेज में. नहीं, आपके बारे में नहीं बोल रही. Okay, so now how do I explain this? Okay, so God has got what is called as Mukhya Naam and Gauna Naam. God is known by his primary name and secondary name. Does it make sense? So, because God does certain functions, he derives a name because of that function. Does that make sense? Superstar Rajnikant, which means he is doing a function. His name is actually Rajnikant. Okay, but why he called Superstar Rajnikant? Why do we put that? Because, or Mandolin Srinivas, because he plays the mandolin very well, like that. So he is associated with that. That's called as Gauna Naam. Gauna Naam means God being called by a name based on a specific function he does. Now go back to your science of self, go back to your PPTs which I showed you. What are 4 aspects of God which we learnt? Definition of God. You remember? 4 things we learnt. God is somebody who is supreme controller. God is someone who is not supreme. First one, what is the first one we saw? Nah. Forgot. Everyone forgot. No revision. No. Cause of all causes. Only that person can be called as God, who is the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. That's one aspect of God. Second definition of God is what? He must be the supreme controller. Not that mera bhi control ja raha hai. You know. Can you call that person as God? Somebody saying, hey, chup! God, yeah, baitha hu na abhi. Kyun jaat raha hai? Can that person be called as God? He is always in control. He doesn't say, what do I do? I am just, I am just CEO of the company. Employees are not listening only to me. Can he run like that? No. God is always in control of everything in this world. That is why that person can be called as God. So, cause of all causes, supreme controller. Then he is the supreme proprietor. He is the owner of everything. Ishavashyam idam sarvam. Everything belongs to him. This is the third aspect of God. And the fourth aspect of God is what? He is the supreme enjoyer, which means he is a supreme beneficiary of every activity that goes, and all that he does is he only enjoys. Last time someone asked me, why do we chant Ram? Hare Krishna, Ram. Ye Ram kya hai? Ram means enjoyer. Hey Krishna, who you are the supreme enjoyer. Ram means jo raman kare usko Ram. Supreme enjoyer. So these are the 4 aspects of God. What happens is, some people give a name to God, some set of people like to call that God based on one of the functions of supreme controller. The Islam people, they call that aspect of controller as Allah. The Hindus call it as Vishnu. Vishnu means controller. Allah means controller. So it is just that to that absolute truth, they call out by a name by which they say he is the man who is at the highest top level, who is the controller. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, but then why are the philosophies that are so different? If someone is saying I follow Krishna and I follow Allah, कुछ भी मैच नहीं होता है. वो लोग they slaughter cows, they have 4 wives, Mohammed married his own daughter. And then in Krishna,
हिंदूज में भी होता है ना, पॉलिटिशियन का होता है. उधर 4 वाइफ है, इधर हिंदू में भी, हिंदू थोड़ी दूध का धुला हुआ होता है. पॉलिटिशियन का भी होता है, वाइफ के अलावा 3 और होता है.
no, but the Quran validates all that for them. That's why they do it, and they say,
Yes.
"Aapko Jannat
It's a good question. It's a good question.
So why are so much?
अगली क्लास में देखेंगे हम लोग. Suspense for you to come to the next class, because I can't answer it in 2 minutes. Okay. Supreme controller is here.
इसी क्वेश्चन का था क्योंकि लास्ट टाइम हम आपने जब एक्सप्लेन करते कृष्णा और विष्णु जी के बारे में आप ही ने एक वर्ड बोला था कि कृष्णा एंड अल्लाह इज द सेम. मुझे उसी के लिए जानना था कि क्या सिमिलरिटी है, क्यों हम कृष्णा को अल्लाह के साथ कंपेयर करते हैं.
हम करते हैं वो इंसान.
हम बार बार नाम ले रहे हैं ना कि अल्लाह ये बोलता है कृष्णा ये बोलते हैं, दिस इज कम टू सेम. सो व्हाई वी आर टेकिंग.
Yeah, so what is the genesis of a religion? That's the question. What is the religion originate कहाँ से हुआ? That's your question, ना? Okay. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Yeah. Is man-made religion bad? No. Right? Why problem is we are fighting based on religion, based on seeing the common things. Right? We are fighting on certain minute aspects, different aspects of religion. If I have to give a 1 minute answer, and I am going to leave with that 1 minute answer because I can't take this topic now. It will require a full class. Okay? Next week I will answer because it is all on the road to accepting a guru in some sampradaya. Okay? We have to really understand the religion. But today I gave you at least dharma kya hai aapko pata chala. Okay? First I will conclude that. So the soul is what? Qualitatively one or different with the Lord? Qualitatively one. But we are not Bhagwan because of that. Right? We are not a supreme controller. Right? But the Bhagwan ka jo aspect hai of being pure, Sachidananda, so we are that pure spirit soul. But when we come in contact with that refrigerator, Samsung refrigerator, which is called as what? Maya. Then what happens? The soul starts behaving different to its dharma. That is called as Maya Shakti. माया में अपना धर्म भ्रष्ट कर दिया इसका. Does that make sense? Right? That is why we start behaving different to our original dharma. Actually, there is only one dharma. What is that one dharma? Devotion to God. You call that as Krishna, you call that as Allah, you call it as whatever. Developing devotion to the supreme absolute truth is the goal of life. And all genuine religions, quote unquote genuine, all genuine Masihas. Masiha again, you will think that ye Islam ka to nahi bol raha hai. No, Masiha means people who are coming in, the teachers who are coming in disciplic succession, like Jesus Christ, for example. There are many Masihas. Ramanujacharya, Masiha. Madhvacharya, Masiha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhagavan himself came as his own messenger. So there are many Masihas, people who have come. And these people who are come here, Srila Prabhupada, Krishna, God sends his various messengers to different places to teach different syllabus. Mathematics is the same, right? A plus B the whole square will always be A square plus 2AB plus B square. There is no difference about that, right? But you don't teach A plus B the whole square to every student at the outset. You have to see at what level the student is. To understand the concept of A square, you have to tell them there is something called as a square number. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. To be able to even tell them square number, you need to tell some other child what is a number. And then you have to tell them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? You cannot say, you are teaching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, bad philosophy, bad religion. I only accept that religion which teaches A plus B the whole square is A square. This is nonsense. You have to understand, you need to know 1, 2, 3 to be able to know A plus B the whole square. So, this is the short answer to your question. Religion, the different man-made religions are giving you different syllabus based on who, at what level that those people are. Does that make sense? Religion is based on Kala, Desha and Patra. Religion is based on what? Kala, Desha and Patra. Time, place and circumstance. For example, and I will end with this example for today's class, but we will discuss more in the next class. For example, if somebody is drinking and beating his wife to pulp and you have to give him an instruction, will you give him a bead bag? Yeah. Will you give him that? What will you tell him? पियो, बीवी को मत मारना, पियो, गटर में मत गिरना। हुई महंगी बहुत ही शराब के, थोड़ी थोड़ी पिया करो। गजल अच्छा है, बट कैन आई गो टुमारो एंड से पंकज भाई ने बोला है थोड़ी थोड़ी पिया करो, अपन भी थोड़ा थोड़ा पीता है। आई एम अ गुड मैन, आई विल ड्रिंक लिटिल। इज दैट द हाईएस्ट वर्च्यू? नो, बट दैट इंस्ट्रक्शन कैन चेंज द लाइफ ऑफ somebody. So he is also doing a great job by giving that ghazal. Who is he addressing? He is addressing those people who are habitual drinkers and who are drinking so much that they are going to die. So he is at least telling them, okay, at least control, man, drinking. But is that the highest in bhakti? No. That is why I said different lessons are given for based on time, place and circumstance. We will take lot of examples of this in the next class. I have gone 4 minutes over. 2 minutes. Yeah.
This is not related to it, but this, the quantitative and qualitative of the soul is mentioned that. In Advait, you just mentioned that, the soul, is it a part of, is it a God himself? He said no. And then, it's an ansh of God, yes. But in Advait, where, we say that,
We means who?
Anyways, in Advait, in Sanatana, so basically, they say that there is no difference between you and God. So whatever the God is, it's you. And even in, I forgot the verse from the Gurbani, Guru Granth Sahib, and where Guru Nanak Dev Ji himself mentioned that basically, when you go inside, you will find yourself. You will find you will not find any God, but yourself. So, what
You will not find any God, ऐसा बोला?
Yeah.
ऐसा नहीं बोला गुरु नानक जी ने.
I forgot the particular this. Yeah.
Guru Nanak ji was not an atheist. He was a devotee of God.
आप अंदर जाओगे आप पाओगे कि आप
You will.
you will find your own self as
हाँ, own self बोला. That is that Mamayava Amsha what she is talking about. You will find that your true nature is godly. So you will find that you are qualitatively non-different from God. That is what that verse means.
So.
It doesn't mean you are God. हम लोग God है तो हम लोग ऑफिस में क्यों जा रहे हैं? We will be the supreme controller.
So same thing with Krishna and Rama. They walk on the earth. They were born as a normal human, and eventually they did whatever they need to do, and then they become the superhuman, which is now we call God. Back then, everyone.
कौन बोला ऐसा? किसका फिलोसफी है?
You can take the example from the history, right? When Krishna
हिस्ट्री कौन सा हिस्ट्री बुक लिखा है ऐसा कि कृष्णा एंड राम वेर ऑर्डिनरी पीपल, दे वर्क वेरी हार्ड टू वर्क विद देयर वे अप द कॉर्पोरेट लैडर टू बिकम गॉड? किसने बोला ये? कौन सा ग्रंथ है ये? शो मी, बताइए.
You can take the example, right? When he was.
वेयर आर यू कोटिंग फ्रॉम प्रभु जी?
I'm telling you.
वेयर आर यू टेलिंग मी फ्रॉम? विच स्क्रिप्चर?
Scripture. I don't know the scripture.
दैट्स व्हाट, देयर इट गो.
No. Let's talk about when Mahabharata was there. So when Krishna was born, like even during that time, no one believes in Krishna back then. So people used to what's his name then you got to there ahead.
What is the question?
My question is like so basically जो इंसान है, I mean, right? So in Advait में where God, there is no difference between you and God, they're the same. So when once you realize, that's my question. So how come the quantitative and qualitative, there is a difference there?
Advait means there are two meanings of Advait. Okay, Advaita means non-duality. Non-duality. Sorry. Okay. Advait means non-duality. I think everyone is tired right now. Okay. So, but I'll still answer it because you should not think that इसका answer नहीं है. Okay. उसी से only for that reason. You are asking me a question which is well beyond right now. At least where what we should be discussing in this class. But I'll still answer you because I respect your question. So, Advait means non-duality. Non-duality refers to qualitative non-dualism. Doesn't mean that आप भी भगवान हो, मैं भी भगवान हूँ. अगर ऐसा है, then we have to show that we are God. Can anyone show that they are God here? God means what? Supreme controller, supreme proprietor, cause of all causes. Am I the cause of all causes? मेरे वजह से सृष्टि बना है? I can tell you at least I am not. Maybe some people may say that. मेरे वजह से सृष्टि नहीं बना है. मेरे से एक बच्चा भी नहीं संभाला जाता है. I cannot control one wife, I cannot control one child, I cannot even control my bathroom urge. I have to run. If my इंद्रिय, मेरे इंद्रिय मुझे इतना कंट्रोल करती है, how can I call myself as God? Think common sense. Forget महाभारत रामायण सब छोड़ो. कैसा मैं भगवान हो सकता हूँ?
When you realize, we're talking about when the realization is there.
Once they have like
Yes.
I have already explained that. I have already explained that to you, saying that when the soul is cleansed of pride, anger, greed, envy and lust, the soul will see its non-duality with Bhagavan. That is qualitative non-duality. It doesn't mean the soul will become Bhagavan. That is called as a myth. That is a myth. I'm introducing a term for the first time in this class. I have not introduced this consciously because it's not something that I want to introduce right now. It's called as Mayavad philosophy. Mayavad philosophy is a bogus philosophy. Anyone who says you are God, I am God, all of us will one day become God, it is a bogus philosophy, whatever names that person may be calling. This is a point in time in the class for some of you. If some of you say that no, I accept that philosophy which says I am God, I want to believe that, this class probably may not make any sense for you anymore.
But Prabhu,
If-
then why in Ishavasya Upanishad also, like when you go through the verses, they उनमें भी क्यों उन्होंने कहीं कोई नाम नहीं लिया कि आप कहीं इधर जाओगे तो enlightenment
Because
हो जाएगा?
Upanishads,
They are also saying pretty much the same thing, that when you are realized, whatever you are searching outside is, you will find that that is inside you only. And when
I already explained that na, Paramatma is inside you na.
फिर वो आगे ये कहते हैं कि इसलिए कहीं जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. Once your time is there, you are taken to that.
Once your time is there, ये सब कहाँ से quote कर रहे हो? I want to see where you are quoting from. Show me that whatever granth you are quoting from, show me that verse here. ईशावास्यम इदं सर्वम का वो मतलब नहीं है. और किसने बोला ऐसा?
उनके उपनिषद के verses में there are verses that clearly state.
Upanishads are meant to give a metaphysical understanding because there are many types of people who approach God. Some people approach God through the medium of philosophy and jnana. So Upanishads are meant for people. It is mentioned on Vedas. Where did you say it is not mentioned on Vedas? I am trying to answer your question now. Okay. It is mentioned, it is based on the Vedas. But I told you also, Vedas can be approached by people of different mentalities. Some people will need lot of metaphysics to understand Bhagavan. They will need to understand everything through a science. For those people, Upanishads are given. For those people who with a simple heart want to understand Bhagavan's Leelas, for them is given the Puranas. And the Vedas is the universal set of everything. It has got Jnana Kand, Karma Kand, Jnana Kand and Upasana Kand. Depending upon whether you want, मैंने वो भी बताया था आपको, depending whether you want Bhukti, Mukti or Bhakti. So if someone wants Mukti, someone wants to merge into Brahman, Brahma Jyoti, which is non-different from God, and therefore the whole Brahman, you want to just become Vileen. That is what impersonalism is about. Saying that they think that is the end in all. That means the end of perfection in spiritual life is to merge into Brahman and then realize that you are non-different from that Brahman. But again I am repeating, that only talks about qualitative non-difference. If those people who say that you are Bhagavan, all of us will become God one day and we will start controlling everything, that is a bogus philosophy called as Mayavad philosophy.
That's not what they're trying to say.
Exactly, that's what I am also trying to say. That they are not, but we are saying that. I know that they are not saying that. Because Guru Nanak is a pure devotee of Bhagavan. Okay, Guru Nanak never said that I am Bhagavan, you are Bhagavan, everybody is Bhagavan. Therefore, we don't need to worship any Bhagavan. I said that is atheistic philosophy. Guru Nanak was not an atheist.
उनका मतलब ये है कि when you realize yourself, आप इतने pure हो चुके हो.
Done. Okay, Prasadam sir. Yeah.
You only get to realize when you pure, right? So when you pure, so basically आप में और भगवान में there is no difference at all, right? Not even a single inch difference.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So when you realize you are down to earth anyway, right? So ये नहीं
You are down to
like you know
earth.
Normal, like you know आपके पागलपन खत्म हो जाता है.
Okay.
There is no पागलपन. Like
पागलपन खत्म होता है तो डाउन टू अर्थ नहीं आते हैं. We go up to the spiritual kingdom.
I'm trying to make it simple.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically there is no pride, anger, ego.
Okay. Okay.
So they and उसके करके basically like वो the जितने भी हैं I mean बड़े हुए हैं when they say okay तथास्तु like they can create, you become the creator. That's a philosophy of the Advaita. So you can create.
that is called as Mayavadi philosophy. And मायावादी फिलोसफी के बारे में हम लोग बात करते हैं. Why that philosophy is prevalent? It will take many more classes, प्रभु जी, ये सब समझने के लिए. अब बहुत आगे वाला क्वेश्चन पूछा है. But I can tell you one thing. The conclusion already I will tell you today. Mayavadi philosophy is nonsense philosophy. Okay? If we want to accept that, we will never progress in bhakti. And ये खुद जो मायावादी फॉलो करता है वही समझ लेता है. One never progresses in bhakti by thinking that one becomes God. This whole of Prabhupada का पूरा जीवन, all his commentary here is largely defeating that Mayavad philosophy only. All Vaishnava acharyas have defeated that Mayavad philosophy. We can never be God. That is not our dharma. That is why Krishna says here, Mamaiva Amsha Jiva Loke. He didn't say that you and I are same. I am God, you are God, Arjun, everybody is God. Nowhere it is mentioned.
Someone goes to Vaikuntha. What happens? They are not becoming God.
They are not becoming God. We become a servant of God in one of the rasas.
Exactly. So that is the point. Like when he said realize.
No, that is not what he is saying. He said we all will become God, he said. We will realize that we are only God. बराबर है ना, वही बोला ना.
We become merged with God. We become like similar to Him. There is no difference, and we don't become a servant. That's
No. We don't become a servant. Now that is where the philosophical incorrect है. जीवेरा स्वरूपे हो नित्यरा कृष्ण दास. जीव हमेशा भगवान का दास ही रहेगा. We can never be the supreme controller. But Krishna will give us the power to control, just like a father can give a power of attorney to a son. Does it make sense? But it doesn't make the son more powerful than the father. That is only subtle difference we have to understand here. आज थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. अभी डिस्कस कर सकते हैं, बट यहाँ डिस्कस करेंगे. यहाँ डिस्कस कर सकते हैं हम लोग. I am okay to discuss here because people are tired. That's why I am only worried about everyone. People will get fried out. Already आपका बहुत philosophy गया है आज आप सर में. But we will address all these questions step by step. Okay? Sorry प्रभु जी, I should have obeyed you. तभी मैं नहीं लेना चाहिए था question. I am sorry. Okay? But everyone is so enthusiastic. So क्या करूँ? Okay. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. महाप्रसादे गोविंदे नमो ब्राह्मणे वैष्णवे स्वल्प पुण्यमतम राजन विश्वासो नैव जायते. शरीर विद्याजाल जड़ेन्द्रिय ताहे काल जीवे फैले विषय सागरे तारा मध्य जीवाति लोभमय सुधुर्मति ताके जेता कठिन संसारे कृष्ण बड़ो दयोमय कोरी बारे जीव जय स्वप्रसाद ने दिलोबाय से अमृत पाओ राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमे दाको श्री चैतन्य निताय जय निमाय जय निताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा.